Undone, the Sweater Song by Weezer. I didn't write this song. Weezer wrote this song. Rivers Cuomo wrote this song. 9 months ago, somebody in my Discord server said, Tal, how many Zubins before you do Undone by Weezer? I said 100 and it got 100, so here we are. You know what else is 100? The percentage of the likelihood that you've the likelihood that you'll subscribe, like this video and subscribe. Sorry, it's been a while. But anyways, this is one of my favorite Weezer songs, and it doesn't actually have that many lyrics, so we might as well get started. The song opens with a background conversation of two bros at a concert. One is clearly much more confident than the other, talking about how great it is to see them and how great the band is, and talking about a party after the show, all while the other is being very nonchalant. But once the lyrics actually start, it becomes more of a question of whether they're being nonchalant or if they're just depressed. Because every single good song is either about sex, depression, or both. As Rivers Cuomo put it, quote, "When I wrote the Sweater Song, to me it was a very sad song about depression, and people heard it on the radio and thought it was hysterical. So don't be looking at me like I'm a crazy person for saying the Sweater Song's about depression. It literally is, okay? But it makes sense why people see it as hysterical, because a lot of the lines in this song are kind of jumbled together in ways that don't make much sense and just sound silly. But once you start to look a little bit deeper into the lines, you start to be able to see what Rivers was talking about in that interview, and the first line is no exception. I'm me, be me, goddamn, I am. And this first line is actually a strange and I guess modern rewording of the very famous quote by Rene Descartes, cogito ergo sum, I think therefore I am. And my understanding of this is that our main character is trying to justify his existence in the crowd. He doesn't seem thrilled to be at this concert, he doesn't seem very hyped up to go to the party, and in general just doesn't seem like he's enjoying himself at all. He's quiet, probably because he's sad or uncomfortable, and so he doesn't seem very heard or like he exists. I Can Sing and Hear Me, Know Me is about exactly that. It's our protagonist trying to liken himself to the band that this other character says he loves so much. Hey, you like this band? Well, I can sing too. Our protagonist wants someone to hear him and to get to know him, which could be by singing because that's what the other person seems to like, or it could just be by having a conversation. He wants a connection with someone but is too shy or perhaps too depressed to actually have a conversation with them. So he just tells us instead, if you want to destroy my sweater, hold this thread as I walk away. Rivers Cuomo got this famous line from his English 101 professor in 1991. Quote, "It was in my English class that I heard the analogy of the unraveling sweater. Dr. Eisenstein used the image to demonstrate the effectiveness of focused thesis statement in an essay. All I have to do is hold a single thread in your sweater and it will all unravel as you walk away." But despite this direct inspiration, I can't help but feel like Undone, the Sweater Song isn't a song about an English thesis. And so following on from what we've already gathered about our protagonist so far, this line's intentions become pretty obvious. By saying that to make him unravel, all you need to do is hold the thread whilst he walks away, he's not just calling himself fragile, he's also saying that he's likely to be the one walking away, not you. Again, he might be unconfident or shy or just doesn't want to be there in general, but on top of that, there is something to be said romantically. It's a bit of a trope for couples to steal each other's hoodies or sweaters or whatever, and that was my initial interpretation of this line. Maybe our protagonist is saying, if you want to destroy the sweater, I'm not going to give it to you like I would if we were in a relationship. You're going to need to hold on to it whilst I walk away from you. He's not ready, not intrigued, or not confident enough for a romantic relationship, and this idea is brought up again later in the song. Watch me unravel, I'll soon be naked is obviously not literal, and I think the best way that I can describe this is this. You know when you have those dreams when you're in school or in public somewhere, and then all of a sudden you don't have any pants on, or you don't have any clothes on at all maybe? I think that feeling is what Rivers is trying to describe, that exposure, that helplessness, that embarrassment. And our protagonist is basically saying that it only takes a tug at a thread to make him feel that way. Again, he's fragile, nervous, and could unravel at any time. He wants to be heard, he said that at the start of the song, but maybe he's worried that once he starts speaking up, once the sweater comes off, people won't like him anyways. This dude is clearly a bit of a wreck, but I think it's safe to say that this is nothing we haven't all gone through at some point. Lying on the floor, I've come undone, because you have to put the title of the song in there somewhere. And now we have another conversation in the background, except this time it's with a woman. Blah, woman! That's literally what this is about, by the way. She says hello and mentions that she wants to go to the party later, but her friends don't want to, so can she get a ride? And as this genius on Genius put it, she wants him, bro. And this is probably correct, which is why he acts the way that he does in the following lines. Like we just talked about, he's not ready for this kind of thing, and so he starts to unravel in the way that he told us he would. Oh no, it gone, bye-bye. And to be quite frank with you guys, I've got no idea what this line is actually talking about. This could literally be so many things, and I think that's probably on purpose. We know that he's nervous having been approached by this girl, so who knows what's actually going through his head for him to make this jumble of words. I encourage you to come up with your own interpretations and maybe share them in the comment section if you feel so inclined. I will see them. Who I think, I sink, and I die. And this is a virtually direct follow-up of the opening line, I'm me be, goddamn I am. I'm me became who I, a clear sign of crumbling confidence, confusion, or perhaps just a breakdown. And where the first line was an alteration of I think therefore I am, this line is basically the complete opposite. I think, I sink, and I die. Our protagonist no longer sees him thinking as a sign of his existence, but rather something that sinks and kills him. His thoughts are not happy ones. He's clearly depressed, and the slightest tug at his nerves brought up by this woman has led to him unwinding everything. And that is pretty much the crux of the entire song. His mental state means that he's always completely on edge, and the slightest thing could lead to him unwinding, which is what we're seeing now. He was by no means confident at the start of the song, but this girl approaching him is like the nail in the coffin for him. And after the chorus a couple more times, we get the last new lines of the song overlapping with the final chorus. I don't want to destroy your tank top, let's just be friends and walk away. And this is clearly about the romance thing that we talked about earlier. He's barely even able to talk to this girl, never mind be in a relationship. He doesn't want to destroy her tank top, and he doesn't want her to destroy his sweater. That's why he's walking away. Knowing that to the person who wrote this song, it's about depression, I don't think it's very hard to see why he wrote it this way. It's not just about, I'm so sad, it's about the social issues that come with that kind of thing. And at the start it was just friends or people he used to know or just going to a party in general, and then it became more and more about the girl that literally just walked up and said hi, basically. I mean, believe it or not guys, the sweater is a metaphor. Call me crazy, okay? Call me crazy. Okay, and now I am aware that I sometimes tend to go a little bit fast when I'm analyzing songs like these. I try to slow myself down, but I just talk quick in general. So as always, if you have any questions or suggestions, let me know in the comments and I will see it and I will answer it. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing. It would help me out a bunch. And I'll hopefully see you in my next video. Also, let me know if you're new here or if you subscribe for the tally hole stuff. I want to know. I'm going to be doing some shifts. So, yeah. Goodbye, everyone. Have a good day. Oh, I said the thing.
Undone, the sweater song by Weezer. I didn't write this song. Weezer wrote the song. Rivers Cuomo wrote this song sometime in the 90s. It could have written it in the late 80s and then released it in the 90s. I don't know. I'm not him.